If you could change the outcome of one play in Steelers history, what
Oh
individual
man.
play would you decide to change the outcome?
Oh, that is such a good question. Oh man. And there are so many plays to bring up here. Oh man. I mean, okay, so like the ooh. Like the real obvious ones would be something from the Super Bowl against the Packers. Maybe the pick six on, I guess that was our second drive. We were in deep at our end zone, and Ben just launched it, but got hit as he threw, and it got picked off and returned all the way for a touchdown. So, like, just make that go incomplete or something, and then oh, but that's not even the worst. I mean, that put us in a deep hole, and then we were getting back into it. The Rashard Mendenhall fumble, maybe that I think that would be the one I would probably have to say that third quarter. I think we're driving. It's 21-17 if I remember right. And we're going, we're on like the 40 or something, like Green Bay 40, and then this Mendenhall fumble destroys all of our momentum. And this is after we had been down 21-3. Is that right? I don't remember enough about that Super Bowl. But anyway, we had all the momentum, and then that really turned things. So one of those plays would probably be my first answer. But there were some other, like, there were so many seasons in there where, like in 2018, I guess it was. Um, we had a tough stretch there, but I think we were a really good team. We just missed the playoffs. Um, and if you had changed, so we had this game against the Saints late in the season, where it turned out to be the last game Antonio Brown played for the Steelers. But he and Ben had just like lit it up, and yet we lost. We ended up losing by three because of a Juju fumble on a catch when we were driving to try to tie it at the end there. Um, but there was a play early in that game where Joe Hayden, I think, was called for pass interference in the end zone on a fourth down play, like a 4th and 3, and they lobbed it into the end zone. And it was, I thought, I mean, granted, I'm biased, but I thought it was a terrible call. It should not have been a pass interference. Gave him first and goal, like the 1 yard line, of course. So change that play, just make it the right call, and I think arguably we make the playoffs, and Antonio Brown doesn't have the uh, doesn't storm out and not come to team meetings the next week, and we beat the Bengals the next week, but that was without Brown playing, and who knows, the whole team sort of just we had this great offensive powerhouse, and then it stopped pretty abruptly at that point. So that would be another play I would think about changing, that pass interference play on Joe Hayden. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I mean, there's so many other ones that I would want to bring up here, but uh, I should, yeah, I'll leave it there. So those two plays in the Super Bowl against the Packers, the Mendenhall fumble or the pick six on the second drive, I guess it was, or the Joe Hayden pass interference call against the Saints in 2018.
on that, I don't know if like my memory of this game is going to be even worse. Like, I actually don't know that I have revisited the Steelers Packers Super Bowl since I watched it. But I have this memory. I think it was that score, 21-17. It might have, like, if I'm remembering this correctly, it might have been on the drive that Mendenhall fumbled. I just remember Mike Wallace having like a deep over and Ben missing him on it, and it was like he was at with the last line of defense. Like, and it was one of those where I feel like Wallace kind of was bending it, and Ben wanted him to take it up because there was no one over the top, and Ben threw it as if he was taking it up, and Wallace came flat, and he 100% would have scored if they were on the same page, and it would have taken the lead. And that is the play that I remember always thinking about after that Super Bowl. That like, I feel like the Steelers would have won that game if that they had connected on that play.
I don't know if I remember that play off the top of my head, but I would not be surprised, right? Like there were Ben and Wallace were dangerous in that Super Bowl. Even I mean they did have a touchdown that Super Bowl, and I remember it being like this beautiful play, like a sort of pocket shot, but Ben, threw it so early and just gave Wallace time to run under it right before the safety got there and for a touchdown. It was the kind of play that You appreciate more when you're not making them regularly. I thought over the break uh, of another play that I have to mention that I
Oh
would
boy.
want to change in Steelers history. Um, 2017, playing the Patriots at Heinz Field, and Steelers fans probably know where I'm going with this, but we're down by, I guess it's three at the time. Very end of the fourth quarter, we're on the Patriots like 10-yard line and throw a pass to Jesse James, who catches or doesn't catch it and goes into the end zone. And it's ruled a touchdown initially and then incomplete, and then we throw a pick on the next play. So, or maybe it was two plays later that we threw a pick, but it didn't go well after that point. We did not win the game, and that game was humongous for us. Right, that was like essentially our Super Bowl that year. We were, I think, 11-2 going in, and the Patriots were 10-3. It gave them the tiebreaker for the one seed. He ended up losing to the Jaguars in the playoffs anyway. So in some sense, it didn't make a difference to the season. Uh, but it was such a heartbreaking play. That was the kind of play where afterward I had to evaluate like how much I invested in my fandom essentially, right? Like that was like maybe I am too invested in this. But that was so painful. And to be fair, like we maybe shouldn't have even been in that position in the first place. To get there, we had some fluky long pass to Juju. He like ran along the sideline, and it looked like the Patriots like one player expected another player to push him out, and neither one pushed him out, and so he just kept going. Um, so maybe we shouldn't have even had the opportunity, but we did have the opportunity, and we did not capitalize. There's some Twitter account that's like it's been X number of days since every day tweets out. It's been X number of days since Jesse James caught that ball. Just can't get over it. um, that's a tough one. And I had to mention that. I should have brought that up originally, but I realized you can't leave that one out. So
And I think of that play every time a ball is ruled a catch fumble on replay. Because nowadays it seems like you like touch the ball for a millisecond and then like move, and it's like, oh, there's a football move. You had 2 feet down, and then catch fumble, and it's like, what? The rules
yeah,
have
even that year. Sorry.
no, you're right.
Um, Even that year, like in the Super Bowl, I think was it Ertz or something like that had a catch that was ostensibly very similar, and yet it was ruled a catch in that case. And I remember thinking, why would this be a catch? I mean, I was glad that it was, but I really preferred that the Jesse James one also count as a catch. Yeah, and they changed the rule to hopefully. I mean, I don't know if it's any clearer now, but that was part of, I guess, what led to the rule change about what a catch is.
Yeah, I don't think anyone knows what a catch is. Any like I know I definitely like it better now than then. I feel like then the bar was very high, but now it feels like the bar is a little low. So I don't know. And
Yeah.
I don't envy anyone, but like it's so amorphous what a catch is. I don't know.